alaikum. Today's presentation will be about the first and second revelation of the Quran. So, this presentation is focusing on the first and second revelation of the Quran only. So let's take a look at where the word Quran comes from, where it originates from. So the word Quran comes from the root word qara'a, which means to read. There are other names of the Quran as well, and some other names are Al-Kitab, which means the book, Al-Furqan, meaning the criterion for right and wrong, meaning that it distinguishes between the right and wrong. Al-Dhikr, which means a reminder or to remember, and Al-Huda, which is the guidance, because the Quran guides us onto the straight path. So let's have a look at the first revelation. The first revelation occurred on Laylatul Qadr. The Prophet ﷺ used to go to Cave Hira frequently and sometimes took food with him because he would stay at Cave Hira for a couple of days to be away from the city to reflect and think. So the Prophet ﷺ, he lived in Mecca and he used to go to Cave Hira a lot and also take food with him. Because sometimes in Mecca there would be a lot of things going on and the Prophet would like to be away from all of it just so he could have a bit of peace from all of the noise and all of the busyness. And sometimes he would even stay for a couple of days just to be a bit relaxed. So one day the Prophet ﷺ was at Cave Hira. And suddenly the whole cave lit up with nur, which means light. This was the angel Jibreel alayhi salam. The angel went and embraced the Prophet tightly and ordered the Prophet to read. However, the Prophet was illiterate, which meant he could not read or write, and replied that he could not read. Jibreel alayhi salam asked a second time, holding the Prophet tighter, ordering him to read, but the Prophet again said that he could not read. The angel asked a third time, embracing the Prophet very, very tightly, but said, read in the name of your Lord who has created man from a clot of blood. So this was Surah Alaq, verses 1 and 2. So one day, whilst the Prophet was at Cave Hira, the whole entire cave just lit up with light, lit up with nur. And this was Angel Jibreel alayhi salam. So the angel came and he hugged the Prophet tight and asked him to read. But the Prophet did not know how to read or write, which meant he was illiterate. And he said to Angel Jibreel that he could not read. And so Jibreel alayhi salam asked a second time, hugging the Prophet even more tight, and ordered him to read. But the Prophet again replied that he could not read. And the angel asked a third time, embracing the Prophet very, very tightly, but also said that read in the name of your Lord who has created man from a clot of blood. So again, this is Surah Al-Ayat verses 1 and 2. So this part of the seerah is also found in the Bible or the Injil. So then the book will be given to the one who is illiterate, saying, please read this. And he will say, I cannot read. So this is from Isaiah 29:12. So now we'll take a look at the second revelation. The Prophet ﷺ narrated that one day, whilst he was walking, he heard a voice from heaven. I looked up and saw the same angel who visited me in Hira, sitting on a chair between the sky and the earth. Sahih al-Bukhari. It is also said that Angel Jibrail's wings covered the entire sky. So the Prophet ﷺ, he was walking one day and he heard a voice from heaven. And he narrated, to the nearest meaning, that he looked up at the sky and saw the same angel, which is Angel Jibreel alayhi salam, who visited me in Hira, sitting on a chair between the sky and the earth. So this is from Sahih al-Bukhari, and it is also said that Angel Jibrail's wings covered the entire sky, which he had that many wings. And so the Prophet became very frightened, and he hastily went home and said to his wife Khadija radiallahu anha, "Wrap me up, wrap me up." Khadija radiallahu anha assured the Prophet, saying, "You are a sincere man who gives charity and helps the needy, so no harm should come to you." So this is also from Sahih al-Bukhari, and it was then when the second revelation came down. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, after seeing this, he of course became very scared, because this was like a very tremendous sight. And so he quickly went home and he said to his wife Khadija radiallahu anha, wrap me up, meaning to wrap him, to cover him. So Khadija radiallahu anha said to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that you are an honest man, you give charity, you help the needy, so don't worry, because no harm will come to you. So this is also from Sahih al-Bukhari, and this is where the second revelation came down. So these words of encouragement, they helped the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then the first verses of Surah Mudaththir were revealed. Ya ayyuhal muddaththir, qum fa'anzir. O you who covers himself with a garment, arise and warn. After this, the Quran was revealed over a period of 23 years. So after hearing this encouragement from Khadija radiallahu anha, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam felt more at ease, and he felt more comfortable, and he wasn't as frightened now. So after this, the first verses of Surah Mudaththir were revealed. So, O you who covers himself with a garment, arise and warn. Now, after this revelation, the Quran was revealed over a period of 23 years. So, the conclusion is that the first revelation was the first 2 or 3 ayahs of Surah Alaq, and the second revelation was the first 5 ayahs of Surah Mudaththir. I know we've only covered the first 2 ayahs, but you can also go online and search for the remaining ayahs, because they are also in the second revelation. So I hope you enjoyed today's lesson, and if you did not understand some of the slides, then I recommend you go back to the video and read over it once more. And Jazakallah khair for looking at this video. Assalamu alaikum.